Hiya, my name's Bob. If you forget, it's on my shirt. I'm the chief instructor of the Phraya Pichai camps, and I've been involved in Muay Thai since the 70s. Those of you who know me know that I run full-time gyms all over the place, as far afield as Italy. And sadly, none of us have now got gyms to train in. So with that in mind, I've put together on my YouTube channel, the Phraya Pichai, I'm going to be putting together a series of training tools, resources, if you like, to help you train at home. Of course, it's not just me putting content on there. That content will also be fueled by your questions and comments, which you can leave below. And hopefully, let's buy the ticket and take the ride, as Hunter S. Thompson says. So get on board with this, support me as much as you can. And we can get some serious training done and see this thing through to the end. Hopefully, wiser, better, stronger individuals. Also on that note, this crisis that we're going through is going to have an impact on people's psychological well-being. Those that know me also know that I'm involved quite heavily in NLP. That's a way of changing your perception. Check out some of the videos on this channel, actually. You'll see me working using NLP with clients and with groups of people. It might spark some interest. So ask questions about that. Having a panic attack because you're stuck indoors with your in-laws? Yeah, well, there you go. Now's the time to change that perception. And of course, seriously though, this is like an enforced meditation retreat. You're going to be stuck indoors for weeks, okay? How are you going to deal with that? Well, that's up to you. I can help with that as well. Again, leave your comments or drop me a private message on Facebook or WhatsApp me. Okay, so let's, as I say, buy the ticket and take the ride, and let's get this thing moving. And I'll see you at the other end of this. Hi guys, so here we go, the first online lesson in Muay Thai. Obviously, you should warm up thoroughly. Now, it's going to get to the point where you can't go out for a run because that'll be restricted in terms of movement. So we need to concentrate on how we can keep fit at home. There's lots of ways you can keep fit and do warm-ups at home. And one of the best ways, and I think the only way if you have no other choice, if you haven't got to run a machine or anything, is to skip. Okay? Skipping is, as you know, like this. Stay there. You're all in shot. It's a wide-angle lens. He doesn't know the technology, you see. So this is Ethan and one of my students, one of my fighters. And here he's demonstrating skipping. Skipping's pretty straightforward. If you can't get into it, or you've never got into it, you need to get into it now. It's a great way of keeping fit. And I remember someone once said to me, a fitness guru said to me, 5 minutes of skipping is worth a 20-minute run. I don't know whether that's true, but I know skipping can be hard. And you can speed it up and slow it down. You can do crossovers. I don't know whether, yeah, Ethan's demonstrating some crossovers there. And you can come up with some interesting patterns to keep it interesting. Okay, Ethan, thanks very much. So you want to do this training in rounds. Ideally, when you first start now, 1 minute rounds, but build that up to 5 minute rounds with 1 minute rest. Once you're thoroughly warmed up, you can move into the techniques of Muay Thai. If you've got a bag, that's great. If you've got someone in the family that you've been isolated with, you can use pads and equipment as well. But obviously, there's restrictions on this, and they will get worse as time goes on. So, footwork. Footwork's one of the key things in Muay Thai, and I go on and bang on about it time after time. Footwork's pretty straightforward, and we'll demonstrate the basics of footwork now. Jack. So, okay, Jack. So, as we can see, if you want to move back a little bit so we can see on camera. Okay, we're in the right position there. Good footwork is all about positioning, okay? Distance is an important criteria as well, but obviously you're not working with a person, so you're on your own, so we'll have to leave that out at the moment, but distance is crucial with regard to footwork. But as you can see, Jack's standing in your typical Thai stance, the left foot forward. He's an orthodox fighter. The reverse of this can also be done if you're a southpaw. And I'm going to do some drills actually to help you learn to change from one to the other, just to give it a variation. Not that that should become a norm. Left foot forward, rear foot is on the floor, but the heel is lifted. This gives you that positional thing for driving off like a sprinter coming out of the blocks. The body virtually square on and the guard high. Now, Jack has done this deliberately just to probably wind me up, but the position of the arms is really important. Don't have the fists too close to the face, okay? That'll prevent, because that'll cause a problem with clinch work. So the hands want to be slightly forward of the face, you know, and there's variations on this. This is just my take on it, okay? But the main thing is that the elbows are hanging loosely, the body is relaxed, and there should be a curve in the spine. So we'll put a curve in the spine. By putting a curve in the spine, we actually lift the shoulders slightly, which protects the neck. So if you just raise your shoulders a bit, like so, okay? And you look straight through the gloves at the opponent. Movement, pretty straightforward. When you're moving forward, you move the front leg first. And when we move back, we move the back leg first. That's it, okay, Jack? If we're moving off to the left, we move the left leg first. And if we're moving to the right, we move the right leg first. This maintains space between the heels at all times. What we don't want to do is step across each foot like so. It's obviously bad for swooping. Obviously, when you get to the level of Senchai or Thailand Pinsan Chai or Samapayakarun, you can do what you want with your feet. But at this level, okay, just keep it simple. Keep it very simple. This is, I can't say it enough, this is key to effective Muay Thai. If we just again look up the body now and we'll look at the position, you'll see that what's happened, and this is common and you need to keep an eye on it, the elbows are starting to drift out. Keep those elbows in. These are protecting the ribs and all the structures around there in the internal organs, and in a useful position for dropping it to block and pulling back up into position, and also being able to push the hands forward in a relaxed manner to push the opponent or catch the opponent or grab the opponent. We have an interesting footwork drill that I think will be good fun to practice. Jack has literally only just learned it today, so you're going to be in the same boat as Jack. So if you remember the drill that we went through, Jack, so what we do is the opponent the fighter throws a jab cross. Okay, I'll talk about that in a moment in more detail. And how we bring the footwork in, this is pretty straightforward. Okay, Jack goes back to stance. He throws his jab and then his cross. He leaves his cross back and then turns the body round. So he steps off and back. There he steps off to the right. So now he's in the opposite stance and he throws right, left. And then he steps back and round 180 degrees and does a jab cross. He then turns in the other direction towards camera and throws jab cross. And then rotates 180 degrees, jab cross. Then rotates off to his left, jab cross. And then rotates 180 degrees, left, right, okay? So if we watch Jack doing this slowly, okay, we'll see how it works. 1, 2, step. That's 90 degrees. 180 degree turn. 90 degree turn. 180 degree turn. 90 degree turn. 180 degree turn. 90 degree turn. Okay, thanks, Jack. Okay. So there's something that'll baffle your brains for a while, okay? It's a great drill, it'll get your brain working, it'll train your coordination skills, and of course it adds something else to your training when you're training alone, okay? If you're content with just stabbing, jabbing, crossing all day, that's fine too. But the main thing is your footwork. So let's take a quick look at the jab and the cross. So we notice the fighter's in position. The elbows are starting to flare out a bit, so tuck them in. Curve the spine, okay? When we throw a jab, we extend the lead arm and rotate the fist. We make sure that there's a flat surface here above. Don't worry, I will wash my hands after touching him. That may have come out wrong. Okay, but you know me when I'm teaching. Okay, not the touching, the comedy. That may have come across badly. But anyway, when we throw a jab, we rotate the fist and we hit with the first 2 knuckles. Obviously in Thai, we wear a glove, and you have wraps on which protect the hands. But don't forget these basics. The right cross comes off the back hip, okay? That's where it starts. It rotates from the floor through the hip and out through the arm and into the target. So again, jab cross, and we speed it up a little bit. And when we're doing it like this, just keep it going, Jack. When we're doing it like this, we just keep a nice steady momentum. We can practice stepping forward a pace with it, jab cross, and backwards, jab cross, and to the left, jab cross, and to the right, jab cross. And of course we can add other techniques in as you know them. So if you know what an uppercut looks like so, we can put those in as well. So we can do an uppercut. Now the uppercut in Thai doesn't drive from the ground. We don't drop the hand and hook it up. It's a short hooking movement. Always a good thing to use in the clinch, especially against an inexperienced opponent, okay? A good short uppercut between the clinch is very good. Okay, so again, we can put the four together. Jab, cross, uppercut, uppercut. And again. And of course, we have other techniques, hooks, or as some Southerners say, hooks. Okay, I call them hooks, and that's the new way of saying it. So, if we were to see a hook, Jack, can you show me that? Nice and short, nice tight left hook, and a right hook, like so. A little bit tight, but that'll do the job. And you'll notice that if Jack does it slowly with the right, the hand turns over, and he needs to, I shouldn't be touching you. I will clean and disinfect, I promise you. Okay, and you should all be doing that. Okay, this is the position here as it makes a target. Some of you may prefer that way, and that's fine as well. I have a personal preference with that, where you hit with these first two knuckles here, put your hands down on the jaw like so, okay? That's my take on it. So, jab, cross, uppercuts and hooks are all common techniques used in Thai. There are other techniques which we'll look at later, jumping punches, stepping punches. One other thing that's not practiced a lot, and that's a skip, step, jab, cross. In order to do that, have you got this in your head, Jack? So if you remember the skip step, the skip is done in one movement. You haven't displaced the body either backwards or forwards, okay? You've simply moved over your own center of gravity. We can do that again, Jack. Skip, that's a skip step with a jab. Whenever you use a skip step, and you will often use skip steps to throw a left roundhouse kick in, if Jack can demonstrate, there, always set it up with a hand movement, okay? Again, Jack, bang. The hand moves forward. The good thing about this, as we'll see, is the hand is left forward as you throw the roundhouse kick, which is an important part of the technique. Old school, throw the hands back. The main thing is keeping that shoulder forward, and if the hand is forward, it helps with that process. Okay, so we see the skip, step, jab, cross, and you'll see Jack is stepping through for the cross. So again, we go skip, step, jab, step through, cross, and again, and one more time. Cool, okay. So there's another drill you can practice, okay? How you format your sessions, well, that's up to you. But if you, again, make a comment on the YouTube channel below, I'll send you, I'm happy to send you a training pattern, a group of things that you can do, okay? So, that's the hands. Very quickly now, we're gonna look at the elbows. And remember, what I'm trying to do today is just give an overview of some basic things you can practice just to keep yourself going and stave off the boredom. Okay, elbows are used in a number of different ways in Thai. It's what the Thais are known for, okay? Commonly known as sok. That's the generic term used for the elbows. And we can use cutting elbows and more or less what I would call a bludgeoning elbow, a knockout elbow. What we're going to look at is a couple of downward angled cutting elbows. We start with the left and then the right. Now what Jack's doing is a bit odd. He's thrown the hand under the armpit, and this is a common fault with the elbows. So if I can just bring Ethan on, and you'll see what Ethan's doing is he's dropping the glove to the midline. So we'll bring it to the midline. The idea of this is it keeps the elbow nice and short. It's a short cutting elbow intended to cut the face. So we have downward cutting elbows, and the left one. We have left and right angled up, not uppercut, angled uppercut, where this hand, that's it. So this hand here will go over the opposite shoulder. And again, left, and then the right hand goes over the shoulder. And again, I'm working with amateurs here, but hey, you know what? They've given their time up, so be grateful. Okay, so again, left and right. No. Yeah, I will get my shorts on in a minute if we're not careful. Okay, that's something you don't want to actually see on this channel. Okay, there will be special restrictions for the weak and the faint-hearted. Okay, so left hand over the shoulder, yeah, and the right. And use the hips when you're doing this. 1, 2. And driving in with the hip gives it more power to do the damage. And of course, we've got side elbows as well, which come straight across the side. Pretty self-explanatory. Side elbow cut straight across and into the opponent's head. Again, done on a bag. You've got to make sure your range is sorted out. Elbows working closer range than you would obviously with hands. Okay, so, and don't touch your face like this. When you've got a moustache as luxurious as this, you can't but help touch your face. Okay, uppercut elbows. Simply throwing the hand over the shoulder drives the elbow up and through, okay? So again, uppercut elbows. Now, of course, you can put some of these elbows, and there are many more. There's spinning elbows, there's jumping downward elbows. Okay, and there's rabbit elbows, many variations. At the moment, we just want to focus on some of the basics. You can put them together with the hand techniques. So you can put combinations together, jab, cross, left elbow, jab, cross. The combinations and permutations of these techniques are many and varied. And again, if you're really struggling for combinations, you don't know what to put together, put a comment on the channel and I'll do my best to get back to you and give you some instruction personally. And with that in mind, I do have a Patreon channel. So if any of you guys want to actually support me, give me coffee and dog biscuits for my dog so he survives this crisis, go on my Patreon channel, the HIGHERWAY code, and maybe you can slip me a $5 for a lesson. Who knows? Be great, I'll be grateful. I really will. Of course, you're not going to do that. I'm just going to use and abuse you today, and you're not going to get a penny out of this. Okay, so we've seen the hands, we've seen the elbows. Another key element in Muay Thai, obviously, are the knees. Knees can be done forward, they can be done to the side, they can be curved knees. There's a whole variety of them. If we look at the forward knees as a solo drill, it's very simple. We just step up onto the toes and drive the knee and then come back this way. You can see Ethan's getting high on his toes, driving the hips forward and pushing the front of the knee surface in. We can also do side knees, which come around the side, very similar to the action of a roundhouse kick. And if you find it's pulling you off balance, that's a good skill to work against. Practicing maintaining your balance as you turn the knee in. So do them side on again. Lifting them out to the side, out to the side. And then of course we've got curved knees, which are often used in the clinch, like so, where we hit with the inside surface. Again, staying high on the toes in all of the knee exercises. Always keep up on the toes whenever you're doing knees. What you mustn't do is go flat foot, because it's easy to defend against a flat footed position in terms of your balance. So you want to be up on your toes. Knees are best used in the clinch, which of course you can sort of practice solo drills. So you sort of shadow box clinch work. So if we see an example here, what Ethan's doing is he's moving the hands, changing the hand position, controlling the neck, pulling the hands, slipping them through, Ethan. So move the hands as if you're catching a guard, catching, pulling. So imagine you're now in a position where somebody's clinching you, you lift your shoulders to protect your neck, you turn the opponent, and so on. Okay, so that's a useful knee drill to do. We'll also do another knee drill where we simply lean on the wall and drive knees backwards and forwards. So face the wall and lean on the wall, using the wall as support, and lift your knees up and drive them through. Not actually touching the wall, of course, you numpty. Okay, and shift them through quickly. And that's it. I'm not a big fan of skipping the leg too far back. I think it's a bad habit to get into. So keep the skip short. Do a little bit of a skip, like so. And we do that for repetition. So again, you could time yourself 5-minute rounds or 5 3-minute rounds. You want to have a workout with these things. So you would keep that going for 3 minutes. Then you have a break. Then you have a 1 minute duration. Then you do the 3. Again, you want some combinations put together in a meaningful form, I can do that for you. Okay, so that's the types of knees we can use solo. We can practice, obviously, there's jumping knees, flying knees, okay, but we'll come to them at a later date. I think the important thing is here, keep basics. Use this period of isolation to really focus on the basics, and when you come back to training, you're going to be better than you ever were. It's something that we leave to the last minute. We always leave basics till the last minute. In Thailand, you'd be expected to do these basics for days, just up and down, up and down. So now's the opportunity to practice it. Okay, we can also practice teeps, obviously, the front kick. Now the front kick, okay, a snapping lead leg teep like this is done by changing the stance. So if Ethan gets back in stance properly, that's a terrible stance. I'll tell you what, let's have Jack for this. Thanks, Jack. Okay. So as you can see, Jack's in stance. When he wants to throw his lead leg teep, he simply drops the weight onto the rear leg and then snaps the kick out. The teep is often aimed at the bladder, which lies just below the belly button, the umbilicus, and you use the ball of the foot to drive in. Obviously, if you haven't got a bag and you're doing this solo, which most people will be doing, then you just have to do it in fresh air. But don't get in the habit of flicking the kick out. Flick it, demonstrate, like that. This is not like a karate maigeri, a karate kick, okay? This is a Muay Thai kick, so it's more of a drive forwards and in and then land. And of course you can do it slowly, taking it through each step of the movement, or you can do it quickly. And also we've got the back leg, so don't neglect the back leg. The back leg kicks through and down, again, kicks through and down. And you'll notice that on both kicks, Jack lifts his leg to the chamber position here before extending the leg and takes it back to the chamber on the recovery. Remember, the recovery is vital. It's just as important as the delivery. So we've got these three phases. We've got the first chamber, we've got the extension, and then we've got the recovery. These are really important things before you put your foot down. So we can do the two together. We can go left teep, right teep. And we can also extend the left teep by turning the hip at the last moment, like so. And we can do that with the right, like so. Not quite a side kick, and yet not quite a front kick. So it's an extended teep. It gives more penetration into the target. And if there's one thing we like in the Phraya Pichai camp, it's more penetration. Okay, so let's see that one more time. And again, bang. And we can also obviously put these in combinations with the hands, elbows and knees. So as you can see, Jack's mixing things up a little bit. You can get a bit mobile, but all the time he's concentrating the position of his feet, okay? And again, combinations can be, if you ask for them, we'll reproduce them for you. Okay, so put another combination together, including clinch work this time, yeah? And a teep, good. Okay, so you've got to think of what would the likely opponent be doing. So this is what shadow boxing's about. And use this time, yeah, to work on your shadow boxing, okay? People don't spend enough time doing really what I would call technical shadow boxing, where you really do focus on what is the opponent doing. They're attacking you with a roundhouse kick. How do you defend a roundhouse kick? So really bad arm block, but what will you do after the arm block? Counter. Personally, I would have struck the hand forward as well, but nevertheless, okay, you will come up with things of your own. And again, ask and you shall be given information. With regard to kicks, as well as we saw with the knee using the wall, we can use the wall for kicks. So if Jack just demonstrates a teep drill that we hate in the Phraya Pichai camp, but we do it all the time, Jack's doing a teep. So what you do is you find yourself in range. So get back in stance, face the wall. Okay, so find your range with your lead leg. So lead leg reaches out and just touches the wall. Now what Jack's doing is leaning back on the kick. This is bad. So what we do is we get rid of Jack and we bring in Ethan, okay? And as you can see, he's got a good body position, curved spine, elbows a little bit flared, but that's okay. And he's lifting the knee back and in. Now what you want to strive to do is keep the thigh parallel to the floor, which makes it harder. So the thigh is parallel to the floor and you extend from the knee. And you're going to do this for a count of 100. Most of you will struggle to get beyond 30 doing this drill if you've never done it before. One of the personal bests in the camp is about 274. One of the girl fighters I've got, Tor, she's done 274, and that's pretty outstanding. But you should be aiming to get 1,000. You've got all this time now. Do 1,000 of these, get up to 1,000. And when you go back into training and you start sparring, your teeps are going to be better than Samart Payakarun. And if you don't know who Samart Payakarun is, look him up on YouTube, the king of the front kick. Okay, so that's how we do the teep drill. And of course, you do both legs. Now we'll bring Jack in, because he's feeling a bit left out. And Jack's going to demonstrate how to do Te Wiang, which is the roundhouse kick. Okay, again, and if you're struggling with balance, you can use the wall as support. That's the beauty of using the wall. I used to do this one and still do over the top rope of the ring. Obviously, you're not going to have a ring at home. If you have, you're very lucky, and fair play to you. So, okay, let's just demonstrate again. Using the wall as support, roundhouse kick. And Jack's taking it slowly through the movement. And this is absolutely vital. And then down. And he can go low and then high. Low, down, and then high. But the essence of this is to slow it down. If you find that your kick's out of control, put your trainers on, you won't damage your toes, okay? And that's one method of training. There is another method which I want to bring us back to really improve the power of your teeps. And it's an exercise one of my students down in Dorchester was demonstrating a while back, and we've been using it ever since in the camp. So a bit of a shout out for Luke Mannion at Dorchester Martial Arts down there in Dorchester. He's in the same position as me. He runs a full-time gym, which is now sadly closed. So give him support as well. Okay, so if we get in a seated position, as if you're going to meditate in the Zazen position, and what we do is we lift the knee and extend the leg and back down. Now this has to be done quite quickly in order to keep your balance. Off you go, Jack. And you'll see that Jack's struggling with it. He's only just getting to grips with it himself. But the idea is that you drag the foot, it makes you lift the knee. This exercise makes you lift your knee. And again, you want to go for reps here. So maybe 5 sets of 30. You know, don't go crazy. If you've never done it before, just work with 5 sets of 10. Or even 5 sets of 5 if you really are inept. Okay? But the idea is to build strength, to build stamina into your kicking routines. Okay, you can stand up, Jack. Thanks very much. Okay, what we're going to demonstrate now is what we call the ST test, strength and stamina test. Okay, it's a great way of assessing fighters in terms of their fitness and their stamina. We're going to only demonstrate 5 reps of each exercise. What you want to really go for is 30 to 40 of each of these, with no rest between each set of exercises. So we start with a press up. So the lads do press ups, and you do them with good form. And the lads are only going to do 5 to demonstrate. And as soon as they've done the 5, they're going to stand up and they're going to do split squats. And you keep the back straight and bend the thighs all the way down. Okay, and this is a really good strength and stamina exercise for the legs. Again, the lads are only going to do 5. And when they're finished, they move to the next exercise, which is burpees. And we do a full burpees with and a tuck jump in it as well. And again, and the lads are going to do 5 of those. And as soon as they've finished the 5 of those, they'll go straight on their back and do crunches or sit-ups, whichever you prefer. But again, maintain good form throughout each movement. On your back, and we do 5 sit-ups. And again, good form throughout the movement. And remember, you've got plenty of time, so don't cheat. You're only cheating yourself, as they say, for now. Okay, once they've done 5 of those, they'd roll over into a press-up position. This time with the hands close together. This is a close grip press up. And off they go. Again, we're only going to do 5 of those. And as soon as they've completed them, they're going to stand up and they do tuck jumps. And the tuck jump should be done properly with the knees coming straight up in front of the body and the hands down by the sides. Very military style tuck jump. And if you get a rhythm going, you can easily bang 5 of these out very quickly, like Jack almost demonstrated there. As soon as we finish the tuck jumps, we go into scoops. If we just demonstrate with the scoop, the body must be in a high V position. And then you push the chest and then the hip through and curve back through like so. You can do a couple of variations, but the main thing is pushing the shoulders and chest down first, followed by the hips and then back up and through. And once we've finished that, we get the guys to roll on their backs and we do crossover sit-ups or scissor kicks. Jack's going to demonstrate crossovers and Ethan's going to demonstrate scissor kicks. And that would complete the circuit. So remember, start with 5 of each, move on to 30. Get up to 30 of each. And time yourself, give yourself a time. So put it on a graph, make a graph of this. And all the guys have personal times in the gym. What was your time on 30 of each?
Was it under 3 minutes?
Under 3 minutes?
4 minutes. Something.
4 minutes. So the average is 3 to 4 minutes. I did have one student who was almost sub 2 minutes. The form was slightly off, so I wasn't going to give him it. But strive for 3 to 4 minutes, completing 30 of each of these exercises. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Okay, guys, so hopefully I've armed you with enough information to keep you busy over the next couple of weeks. I am going to be adding more content, obviously, as I say, based on your questions. Failing, we don't get any questions. Failing that, then obviously I'm just going to create material and content when I think it's important. I'm going to be filming a lot of material over the next couple of days while I've got access to the gym. As I say, things are going to be changing. So, well, this could be from my back garden or even from inside my house. But, well, we'll just bear with this and see where we go. I am going to include some other content, as I've said, but I just want to reiterate, I'm going to include content on neuro-linguistic programming. So that's to deal with the mind and how people are dealing with this whole situation, how to de-stress yourself. I'll also be doing a couple of topics on meditation if it's something you've always wanted to get into. I've done it all my life. I can give you guidance on that. I do run seminars and courses on it, albeit in a very small way. And obviously we have things like weapons training, swords, knives and sticks. So there's a whole area we can cover over the next few months. So if we're all stuck indoors together, let's share the experience and get through it. So when we come out the end, we'll be even better. As I say, think of it as an enforced retreat. Thank you.